as we talk all things business studies this evening, and the topic that you'll be doing is all about investments on business studies right here on 103 Hope FM, connecting communities. And I just want to take this chance to also just thank the students who are tuning in and the parents as well as the educators and the MECs that are also, just tuning in to this great initiative that the Fezile Dabi district is doing. Ma'am Mosuoe, good evening. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. In a thousand touch.
I'm great, ma'am. It's already now 17 minutes past the hour, 7 o'clock. Already 17 minutes of your time has just been, So, ma'am, without any further waste of time, let us head straight into it.
Okay, that's what. Yeah, never had. Re ke dumedise bohle ba mametseng hona jwale jalo ka ntata sa boletsi ke nna ne Mosuoe ke go etsa di topic tsa term 2, but for now topic e ke qalang ka yona, that is investment security. Now, first of all, you need to know what is investment. So an investment, we say it is a financial or physical asset which is purchased in the hope that it will increase in value and generate income in the future. In other words, when you purchase this asset, you purchase it knowing or hoping that in the future it's going to generate an income for you. It's just like what we call a nest egg, just like when a bird lays eggs in the nest, and then in the future those eggs are going to hatch. That's what investment is. Now, as a prospective investor, before you invest your money, there are various factors that you have to consider when making an investment decision. The reason why you need to consider these factors is for you to be able to make an informed decision. I mean, there is nobody who wants to invest their money with the intention of losing it at the end of the day. But you invest your money with the hope that in future is going to generate you an income. So these factors that we're going to look at are the factors that are going to make you to make an informed decision. In other words, for you to be able to make the right choice in choosing the relevant investment opportunity for you. Now, these factors that I'm going to talk about today, I will be focusing on the 7 factors that an investor has to look at before choosing an investment. The first factor, that is return on investment. Now, what are we talking about when we talk about return on investment? It refers to the income that is made from an investment. In other words, when you invest your money, the income that you get from that investment, that's what we talk about when we talk about return on investment. And that return that you get, you can get it in the form of interest or in the form of dividends or in the form of capital gain. Now, when you have invested your money, you must make sure that when you get your return, that return should be expressed as net after tax. In other words, when you get that income after they shall have deducted tax, then the money that you're going to get there should be more than what you have invested. So that is one factor that you have to consider before you invest your money. As to how much am I going to get as an investor from this type of an investment opportunity? That is the first factor. The second factor that you have to look at before you can invest your money, you must look at the risk. Now, when we talk about a risk, we talk about the possibility of financial loss. Now, as an investor, you must be able to look for different investment opportunities and check out of all these investment opportunities, what is the risk involved in investing in such an investment opportunity. One thing that you need to know is that the higher the risk, the higher the return. In other words, if an investment opportunity promises you the higher return, then you should know that there is a very high risk in investing in such an investment opportunity. Remember, the reason why we're looking at these factors is for you to be able to make an informed decision. That is the second factor. The third factor that you have to look at before you invest your money, you must then look at the investment period. So when we talk about the investment period, we talk about the duration of the investment. And the duration of the investment can either be short, medium, or long term. Now, as a prospective investor, you must take a look at the different investment opportunities. And when an investment opportunity is short-term in nature, then you should know that the return that you're going to get there is a very low return. But the longer the investment period, then the higher the return. Remember, you are looking at these factors in order for you to be able to choose wisely, in order for you to be able to make an informed decision. So that is the third factor that an investor must look at before investing the money. Remember, you're looking at these factors because as a prospective investor, you do not want to lose your money. Now let's go to the fourth factor. The fourth factor that you have to look at before you invest your money, you must look at the inflation rate. Now let us explain what is meant by inflation rate. Inflation rate refers to the rate at which price of goods and services increase. So when you invest your money, you must look at the rate of inflation, because when the inflation rate is higher than the interest rate on your investment, then you must know that that particular investment is not going to give you a better return. So that is also one other thing that you have to look at before you invest your money. Now let's move on to the fifth factor that you have to look at before you invest your money. I just want to remind you, remember why you have to look at these factors. It's for you to be able to do what? It's for you to be able to make an informed decision. Now the fifth factor is what we call liquidity. Now when we talk about liquidity, it refers to how easy and quick an investment can be converted into cash. Remember, when you invest your money, sometimes you do not know there might be some unexpected emergency, and you shall have invested your money. And when the need arises for you to want that particular money that you have invested, then you need to look at a particular form of investment where it will be easy for you to access your money as quickly as possible. Now, if maybe you have invested in a savings account, then it is going to be very easy for you to convert that investment into cash, is more than when you shall have invested in a fixed property. So these are some of the things that you are going to enable you to make a wise choice, because you are thinking of the future. Now, the other factor that I'm going to talk about, that is the sixth factor, that is tax. Now, before you invest your money, now you must be able to look at the different investment opportunities, because the impact of tax must be considered to receive a high net rate of return after tax. In other words, when you have invested your money, when tax is deducted, the income that you are going to get there must still be higher than what you have invested. So if tax has been deducted, from your investment and you are still remaining with something on top of what you have invested, then we are saying you shall have made a very wise choice. So you look at the different investment opportunities and then look at the tax that is going to be deducted from such investment opportunities, because different tax rates, they apply to different investments. So that is basically one of the factors that you have to look at, which is tax. Remember, I said to you, the reason why you're looking at this factor is for you to be able to make an informed decision. Now, lastly, the last factor that you have to look at before you invest your money, you must look at the planning investment factors. Now, with this one, we say that investors must consider the safest possible investment opportunity. Now, you will only be able to know the safest possible investment opportunities if you have taken time to research on the different investment opportunities. Now, then you are going to explore opportunities with a history of good returns. And when you shall have explored such opportunities that have a history of good returns, then you will be able to divide your investment between different opportunities. This one requires a lot of planning. So these are the factors that I wanted to talk about that an investor must look at before investing their money. And remember, I said to you, the reason for this is for you to be able to make an informed decision. Therefore, if you shall have considered all these factors, then you are not going to make a mistake when you invest your money. Now, the next question is, now that you know about the factors that you have to consider before you invest your money, you need to know about the different investment opportunities. Now, I'll just mention the different investment opportunities before I outline them. One of the investment opportunities that are available for you out there, for you to invest on them, the first one, that is fixed deposit. You can also invest. The second one, you can invest in shares. You can also invest in unit trust. You can also invest in RSA government retail bonds. You can also invest in property. You can also invest in notice deposit accounts or call deposits. They are called notice deposit accounts or call deposits. You can also invest in offshore investments. You can also invest in business ventures or venture capital. Or you can even invest in stock shares or mutual funds, or you can invest in retirement annuity or in life insurance policies. Now, let us look at these various investment opportunities, explain them, as well as the risk involved in such investment opportunities. The first one, that is fixed deposit, is one of the investment opportunities that are available out there whereby investors can invest their money. Now, when we talk about a fixed deposit, what are we talking about? A fixed deposit, it is money that is deposited into a bank account at a fixed rate for a fixed term. In other words, this simply means when you deposit your money into a bank account, then you are going to get a fixed rate of interest, and you as an investor, you are the one who is going to determine the term for that particular investment. And as an investor, as I have already indicated, you receive an interest for investing in the fixed deposit. And the duration of this type of an investment can either be short or long term. So you as an investor, you are the one who is going to determine the duration of that particular investment. Now, what could be the risk involved in investing your money in a fixed deposit? Because you're investing in the bank, then the risk is low because the interest that you're going to get there is also low. So the return that is not going to be affected by any economic conditions. If the bank has promised you this fixed rate of interest, then at the maturity date, then you are going to get that rate that the bank has promised you. So that is the risk which is involved in the fixed deposit. It is very low, meaning this is a safe investment in which you can invest in. Now, the other investment opportunity that is available for you as an investor, you can invest in shares. Now, when you invest in shares, what are we referring to here? So we're saying with this one, the companies, they sell a portion of their ownership in the form of shares. So when you buy shares, you become a part owner of that particular company. And you can buy them via the stockbroker or using an online share account or via the Johannesburg Securities Exchange. So as I have already said, you become the part owner of that particular company. Now, you need to know the risk involved. Remember, we talked about the factors that you have to consider. One of those factors, remember, we said is a risk. So when you invest in shares, the risk is very high. Why the risk is very high is because as an investor, there is a possibility that you might lose the initial amount that you shall have invested, or you might lose part of it in the short term. So when we take a look at what is happening recently as our country is faced with this virus, which is called COVID-19, most companies are not doing well. And when most companies are not doing well, it means the share prices of most companies have dropped. Some of the companies might even close. And if that happens, that simply means some of the shareholders are going to lose the money that they have invested in such companies. So that is the risk which is involved in investing in shares. And then we say also the share prices are also changing frequently. So before you can even decide on investing, look at such things first. Now, do you think now that most companies are not doing well, do you think it is the right time for shareholders to sell their shares? Not at all, because they are going to lose. So these are some of the things that you have to look at. Now let's go to another investment opportunity that is available where you can invest your money. You can also invest in what we call unit trust. So what are we talking about when we talk about unit trust? So unit trust, it is a collection of investment options that are made up of shares in different companies. So what happens here is that the money of large number of investors is going to be combined into a fund. And that fund is managed by a person called a fund manager. So the different investors, they contribute, and that money is collected and put into one fund. And the fund is managed by a fund manager. So how do you purchase the unit trust? They can be obtained from the stockbroker. They can also be obtained from the financial institutions as well as from the companies that are listed on the Johannesburg Securities Exchange. So the nicest thing about the unit trust is that the fund manager is an expert in the field. And what the fund manager is going to do, the fund manager is going to distribute those monies into different investment opportunities. So the duration of this type of investment ranges from medium to long term, and they can be sold at any time, meaning that as an investor, when you want money, you can sell them easily. So what is it? What is the return that you get here? The return that you get from the unit trust, you get the dividend. So let's look at the risk that is involved in investing in unit trust. Then the risk with this one may be high and low. Remember what I said. The fund manager is going to spread the fund into different investment opportunities. Therefore, the risk is going to be spread throughout the fund, and this is going to lower the risk for all investors. In other words, if the investment is spread, maybe one company is not doing well, and then if that company is not doing well, the other money shall have been invested in other companies. So if you lose your money from one company, you still going to make money out of the investment that is going to be made out of other companies. So that is the risk which is involved in investing in unit trust. So that is what you need to know. Now, the other investment opportunity, that is the RSA government retail bonds. Now, the government retail bonds, Monahe, it means that you as an investor, you lend money to the government at a fixed rate for a fixed term. So what happens here is that the government encourages or offers its own citizens the opportunity to invest in bonds so as to encourage investment. And you can invest in RSA government bonds for a period of 2, 3, or 5 years. And the return that you're going to get here is interest. And that interest is going to be paid into your savings account twice a year. And the minimum for investing in RSA government retail bonds, the minimum is 1,000 rand and the maximum is 1 million. Now, what are the risks involved in investing in government retail bonds? With this one, the risk is also low. Why is the risk low? It's because the government cannot disappear or the government cannot become bankrupt. That is why the risk is low in investing in government retail bonds. What happens is that as an investor, you're going to receive your investment together with the guaranteed interest back at maturity. Now, remember I said you can invest for a period of 2, 3, or 5 years. So when your investment reaches its maturity, you are going to get your investment plus the interest at maturity. Hence, the risk is low. That is all about the government retail bonds. And remember, now that you know the factors to consider, then you are going to be able to make a wise choice when you invest your money. Let's look at another investment opportunity that is available for you as an investor. Another one is called venture capital or business venture. Did you know that when you start a business, you are also investing? Yes, you are. Then a venture capital or business venture, then it is whereby you as an investor, you are either going to start a new business or you are going to expand an existing one. And as an investor, you should be well informed about the type of businesses that are out there, as well as the economic conditions, before you can even start or buy a business. Now, what is the risk involved in investing in a business? With this one, the risk is high. Why is the risk high? Is that as an investor, if you did not do a thorough research before you start a business undertaking, you might end up losing the money that you have invested in such a business. Another reason is that you are an inexperienced business owner. And being inexperienced, you might take wrong business decisions. And when you take wrong business decisions, then you are going to lose your money. And at the end, that business might be closed down. That is why we say when you invest in business, the risk is high. Now, let us look also at the other investment opportunity that is available. Another one that is managed portfolio. With managed portfolio, what are we talking about? Monahe, an investor, instructs a financial institution or a financial advisor to manage his or her various investments or assets in one portfolio. Meaning that the financial advisor is going to manage your assets as an investor into one portfolio. And if the portfolio does not perform well as it is expected, then the portfolio or part thereof may be changed either with or without informing the investor. Now, what is the risk involved in investing in managed portfolio? The risk is low here over a long-term period. In other words, if maybe you have invested for a longer-term period, then the risk is very low. And investments are made up in various sectors of companies, so that the risk is spread and better managed by the portfolio manager. Another investment opportunity that is available, that is stock sales or mutual funds. Well, it's again called back today. With stock sales, everybody knows when we talk about a stock sales. Now, stock sales are informal savings schemes to which a relatively small group of people contribute. Now, people who are members of the stock fund, they contribute more money on monthly basis. And there is a person who's going to manage that. And that person, they are going to open a bank account and then deposit the money into a bank account. Now, what is the risk involved in investing in stock funds? The risk is low because the money is taken into a savings account and it is a safe investment because the interest is low. Remember, the lower, the shorter the term, the lower the rate of the lower the income. So when you invest in stokvel, you should know that it is safe because the bank is definitely going to give you the money that you have invested plus the interest. Another type of investment that can be done in a bank, that is a 32 days notice account or call deposit. With this one, then the money is invested at a fixed rate and may be withdrawn, provided the bank is given a 32 days notice. Before you can withdraw your money, you must give the bank a 32 days notice prior the withdrawal. And this type of an investment, it earns a better interest than a check account or a savings account, but it has less interest than a fixed deposit. So what is the risk involved in investing in a 32 days notice account? The risk also is very low. Plus, the interest will be paid out at maturity date of investment. So your interest is going to be calculated on the daily balance, which will increase the return on your investment. That is the risk involved in investing in a 32 days notice. Now, when you take a look at your examination guideline, it's going to tell you that you must also be able to know the advantages as well as the disadvantages of 4 investment opportunities, which is fixed deposit, shares, unit trust, and RSA government retail bonds. So let's look at the advantages of investing in government in fixed deposit. Remember, I said fixed deposit, you deposit your money in a bank account at a fixed rate for a fixed term. So what could be the advantages thereof? The advantages of investing in the fixed deposit, the risk is low, so the investors are guaranteed of their final payment. That is an advantage of investing in fixed deposit. The risk is low. The second advantage is that the amount that you're going to get, it is guaranteed. In other words, at the maturity date, you are guaranteed of the amount that you are going to get. The third advantage is that the interest is guaranteed regardless of economic conditions. Remember, before lockdown, our country was already in recession. Now, if as an investor, you have invested your money in fixed deposit, whether it is a recession or not, you are guaranteed of the interest that you are going to get. That's one of the advantages of a fixed deposit. What are the disadvantages thereof? Then the disadvantage is that it has lower return. Remember, I said the lower the risk, the lower the return. Another disadvantage is that the interest that is received may not keep up with inflation. So that is the disadvantage of investing in fixed deposit. Now the next one, shares. Advantages of investing in shares. Remember, you are a part owner of the business. So what are the advantages of investing in shares? Advantage is that shares may be sold at higher price in the future. If maybe you have bought them now, and then in the near future when the company is doing well, then those shares are going to be sold at a higher price. So that's the advantage of investing in shares. And another advantage is that the value of shares often increases as the company expands and grows. In other words, the more the company grows, the more the possibility of you getting more out of the shares that you have bought from that particular company. That is the advantage of investing in shares. Now let's look at the disadvantages of investing in shares. One of the disadvantages is that the share prices may drop and the investor may not make a gain. Like I have already indicated, most companies are not doing well. So this is not the right time if you have invested in such companies to sell your shares. So share prices, they drop, and when they drop, as an investor, you may not make a gain. So that's the disadvantage of investing in shares. And the second disadvantage of investing in shares is that it is very risky, as shares are affected by economic conditions as well as the success of other companies. So if you have invested in shares, economic conditions of a country also has an impact on the shares. So that's a disadvantage of investing in shares. Another disadvantage is that the dividends may not be received during difficult financial times. Sometimes a company goes through a difficult financial time. So if you are a shareholder and you're supposed to get your dividends, then the company might withhold the dividends because it is going through a financial time, difficult financial time. So these are the disadvantages of investing in shares. And lastly, let's look at the advantages of investing in unit trust. So one of the advantages of investing in unit trust is that they are easy to cash in. Remember, when you are supposed to sell them, it is easy for you to sell them. So that is why we say it's an advantage. Anytime you want money, you can be able to sell those unit trusts. And they are also affordable because small amounts can be invested on a monthly basis. In other words, when you invest in unit trust, you can contribute money on a monthly basis. So that's one of the advantages of investing in unit trust. They are also easy to buy and sell and can be bought online. These are the advantages of investing in unit trust. They'll hurry and disadvantaging the whole investor in unit trust. So the disadvantages is that as an investor, you may not get the expected return due to the fact that, remember, companies sometimes are not doing well. So that's one of the disadvantages of investing in unit trust. And another disadvantage is that there is a service fees that are charged by the fund manager in order to manage the investment. Therefore, those service fees, they affect your return on investment. Now, lastly, another investment opportunity, we're going to look at the advantages and the disadvantages. That is the RSA government retail bonds. The advantage with this one is that they are affordable. Remember, I said the minimum amount that you can invest with, it is 1,000. That is why we're saying they are affordable. It's an advantage, right? Another advantage is that with this one, there is no administration fee or commission that is payable on transactions, whether you invest or whether you get your investment back. You are not going to pay any commission at all. So that's an advantage of investing in government retail bonds. Another advantage is that your returns are guaranteed. If you have been promised that you are going to get a fixed rate at maturity date, indeed you are going to get that return. And lastly, they are easy to buy and sell at various supermarkets, at the post office, and online. In other words, if you want to buy and sell government retail bonds, you can go to the supermarkets like Pick and Pay, or you can go to the post office, or you can do it online or at the office of treasury. Now, the disadvantages of investing in government retail bonds, then the returns are very low when comparing them to other investments because the risk is low. And the investors may lose their money during the times of political as well as economic chaos. So these are the disadvantages of investing in government retail bonds. Siyaphepha re ntse re utlwana bohle ba ntseng ba mametse. Now, another thing that I want to talk about is I was talking about buying shares. Remember, I said you can buy shares on the Johannesburg Securities Exchange. So you need to know the various functions of JSE. One of the functions of JSE is that it serves as a link between investors and public companies. Because why does it serve as a link? Remember, when you want to buy or when you want to sell shares, you can do that via the JSE. So it combines the investors as well as the public companies. Another function of JSE is that it serves as an indicator of economic conditions. For us to be able to know about the economic conditions of the country, we're going to know that through the JSE. The third function of the JSE, it allows small investors to buy shares in large companies, meaning that it's not only people that have a lot of money that can buy shares. So JSE makes it possible also for small investors to buy shares in large companies. Another function here, the JSE, is that it keeps investors informed by publishing the share prices in newspapers and other media daily. So when you take a look on the various newspapers, they are publishing the share prices. If maybe you are interested in buying shares, JSE, they publish them, so you are becoming informed of the various businesses. How are they doing? So that is because of JSE. And another function is that they also monitor the activities of stockbrokers. Remember, I said if you want to buy shares, you can also buy shares through stockbrokers. So JSE, they monitor their activities, meaning they make it safe for us as investors when we want to invest our money, because such stockbrokers are monitored. Therefore, it becomes safe for us to purchase the shares via the stockbroker. So these are the various functions that are performed by JSE. Now, if you want to buy shares, there are different types of shares that are available. We have what we call the preference shares, the ordinary shares, the founder's shares, as well as the bonus shares. Now, when we talk about the preference shares, what are we talking about? These are the shares that are more expensive because the owners of such shares, they are more entitled to preferential dividends. What do I mean by that? This simply means the shareholders, they receive the dividends before any other shareholders receive their dividends. Hence, they are called preference shares. When you have bought the preference shares, when the company issues out the dividends, you are the first one to receive such dividends. And the shareholders also, they receive fixed dividend amount per year. It does not change. So also with the preference shares is that if a company becomes liquidated, the preference shareholders, they are the first ones to be paid. And lastly, the preference shareholders, they do not have the voting rights during the annual general meeting. The other type of shares, that is the ordinary shares. Now, as I said, the preference shareholders, the preference shares are expensive. But the ordinary shares, these are ordinary shares with no special rights. And the dividends are paid only after the preference shareholders have received their dividends. But the ordinary shareholders, they have the voting rights. Remember, I said the preference shareholders, they do not have the voting rights during the annual general meeting. But the ordinary shareholders, they do have the voting rights during the annual general meeting. So that is the difference between the preference shareholders as well as the ordinary shares. And the other type of shares, we have the founders shares. Founders shares, these are the shares that are issued to the founders of the company. Now, if you are the founder of a company, then the shares that you are entitled to are called the founders shares. And because you are the founder of that particular company, you are the last to receive the dividends. When the company had made profits, when they issue out the dividends, then the founders shareholders, they are the last to receive their dividends. And the nice thing about this one is that when you are the founder, you are also entitled to all the remaining profits. And lastly, that is the bonus shares. The bonus shares, these are the shares that are given to the existing shareholders as a compensation for loss of dividends. In other words, it serves as a gift or as a payment in the form of shares that is given to the shareholders. In other words, maybe the company did not issue out the dividends this year, and as a shareholder, a company would say to you, thank you for being so patient, and they give you the bonus shares on top of the shares that you have. These shares are not sold, but they are given to the existing shareholders, and they are usually given by companies with large reserve fund or retained income to existing shareholders. That is our lesson for today, and I would like to thank you for listening to me tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, Ma'am Mosuoe, right here on 103 Hope FM as well as CDBing FM. Ma'am Mosuoe, next time when we have our lesson, we'll definitely just take the questions, as right now time is no longer on our side in regards with taking the questions. So we'll definitely just take them next time when we have our lesson.
103.